Greetings and welcome. This is the Sugi strategy, and this is my long-awaited review that I have been meaning to do for quite some time out of Age of Empires 2 HD. And this game gets me a lot of nostalgia points because I used to play this game back in '99 when it was released. My dad bought the game, and I already had some previous RTS experience with Warcraft 2 and Age of Empires 1. And I remember not liking Age of Empires 1 that much. My memory is pretty shrouded of those times. But I remember probably not. I liked the game, but I thought when I got Age of Empires 2, that was a significant upgrade. Maybe it was because I wasn't really interested in the Rome period and in ancient Egypt. I was more into this more medieval time period, and that's why probably I find Age of Empires 2 more compelling. And of course it had much better graphics. And so I explain to you what the game is. It's a action RTS or RTS game. It's not as fast as StarCraft or the Warcraft games. It's a bit slow paced and it has more of an economical side to it, but it's not comparable to the Victoria games, or the battle is kind of the main focus point here. But you have 4 different resources on the game. You have wood, food, stone, gold. Food is required to build most of the units in the game. Wood is for the buildings. Stone is pretty much for the stone walls, castles. Some of the units may require stone, and gold is also for most of certain upgrades and units. So you have 18 different civilizations on the game. Each of them share 95% of the same characters. But usually each of the civilizations have 2 unique units or 1 unique unit, and some different upgrades. Certain let's say the Franks or the Goths can build bombard towers, cannons that shoot balls that do a lot of damage. And that is kind of one example where you have some differentiations between the civilizations. Of course, the total art style of each civilization is different, and I think most of them are really cool. I like the Mongolian and the Chinese ones especially. And I think overall the game includes a lot of strategy and a lot of economic, there's a trading system where you can trade with allied players with trading carts or trading boats. Also you have you can fish and you have wood, and there's a lot of interesting different strategies, and a lot of the units use rock paper scissors system where the spearmen are good against the horses are good against archers, the archers are good against spearmen, and that type of a cycle. And then you have a lot of special units there and there, and of course this game also has naval units. You have transport ships, fishing ships, bombard ships, fire ships, demolition ships which explode themselves, kind of kamikaze type of style. And the game has different types of maps. It has different campaigns. The campaigns, there's quite many of them, especially if you buy the expansions, and you can spend over 100 hours in the whole the campaigns itself. Some of them may take hours to complete depending on which type of a strategy. I always been kind of slowly building my army. I started with the walls and built towers behind them, try to zone the area and control a different area on the on the space, and move on from there. And there's of course a lot of history on the game. 90% of the stuff probably is really happened on history. And that is really cool because it's not only educational for you. You kind of hear the stories of the famous characters like the Joan the Arc, Genghis Khan, Saladin, William Wallace, and many others that are included. The Tenochtitlan, around the world, from the South America to Incas, to Africa, to Europe, to Asia with the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, Indians, and you have all of this rich history there. These campaigns do a pretty good job on telling you the story with 5 to 6 missions depending on which campaign you're playing. Of course the game also has a multiplayer play and Twitch support. I'm gonna give one of the negative sides of this game has always been the networking system is somewhat bad. There's like a huge lag when I haven't tried really LAN version of this HD one, but playing online with my friends who live like pretty in the same country and next to me, there has been some like there's like a maybe 1 second lag on the like a reaction of the units and all that. And since we are like talking about reactions, the animations are really top notch in this game. Like the amount of detail in a game of like made in '99, it is pretty impressive. Even the HD doesn't really like upgrade too much of the character models too much, but the buildings look like still really really good to today's standards. Like they're still better than most of like the Facebook and the browser strategy games that get advertised all the time and shit, like Travian. And I mean the game is not expensive. I think that's what people have to take on from, like, it's $20 on Steam. It offers you countless hours. There's a lot of nostalgia value on the game. It offers you difficulty. Most of the campaigns let you use some sort of a difficulty system, so you can use normal, hard, etc. So there are like a lot of hard, and there's a lot of also game modes. You have the normal game mode works like you destroy the base and you destroy all units and buildings and you win. Then there is this sort of a mode where you build a wonder, which is this sort of a it can be anywhere from like a huge mosque to huge temple, and if you survive with the temple for 200 years, which is not of course real 200 years, you win the game if you defend the wonder enough. And then you have like King of the Hill and sudden death type of things, and you're gonna even like adjust the custom games a lot by having more starting resources, more food, more cold. And you can also like do cool stuff with the map editor, like doing your own maps which you can play online. I think there's a lot of like hours that you can sink into the game if you can look behind, if you look past behind the graphics and some of the internet problems. I think this game is like one of the best strategy games out of all time, and still like better than most of the shit that gets released today. Especially it is a good buy if you're a kind of guy who just, I want to play the campaigns or I want to just play single player offline. This is a game for you because you don't have to worry about those online issues. There's also like small esports side to this, and competitive tournaments have been held by Microsoft and places alike. But just to kind of wrap it up, I do think it's a great game. It has great music, great map editor, great settings. You can play it on Windows screen. There's not really a lot of graphical settings you can choose. It doesn't require though like a huge, like a very powerful computer to run. But I overall just have had blast with the HD version. Still good to this day. As I said, check out my expansion pack reviews on the channel as well, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.